All right, guys. So I remember August when the football season started. I was so excited, and we're already at the end. It's the last weekend of the year that you guys get to get your football bets in. So once again, I'm teaming up with DraftKings, and right now we have the perfect time for you to take your shot at proving to your friends that you have the knowledge of football. You're not going to beat me, but you might beat your friends. So all new customers, $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 on anything. Look, at DraftKings, guys, we don't limit you. So there's no time like right now to download the DraftKings app and sign up using my promo code Cormier. All new customers, bet 5, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. And if you're wondering what you can do with those $200 in bonus bets, why not combine your bets? Multiple bets from Super Bowl 58 for a shot at an even bigger payout. And if you've already signed up for DraftKings like me, you can make a bet on Super Bowl 58 and get a bonus bet back. Get a bonus bet back in the amount of your initial wager. But guys, max reward does vary. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. We still got you. You can join in on all the funds with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot at winning cash prizes. So once again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers, use my promo code Cormier. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. At DraftKings, the crown is yours. I got mine. Let me see yours. All right, guys, what's going on? So it feels like we haven't talked. So I did the fights. So I talked to you or at you, but I haven't had a chance to talk to you. So as I'm sitting here still waiting for the main event of UFC 300, which if I'm being completely honest, I have a pretty good idea of what it is. I am just not going to tell you because then I'll get in trouble. You know the whole thing, right? Lose your job, lose your money. I don't want to do that, as I would expect you not to want to do that for me either. But I still love you. And here's what I've been thinking, though. When the UFC 300 main event is announced, is it going to be better than a fight that has already been announced and only continues to build as we get closer? At least in my opinion. I have multiple group messages. I have group messages with boxers. I have group messages with football players. I have group messages with basketball players, and I have group messages with just my friends and family who love mixed martial arts. And it feels universal that they are most excited about one fight. And when I first heard that was the fight that they all love so much, I didn't quite know if I agreed, but now I do. Because when you look deeper into it, how could you not be excited? So for me, it's Ilia Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski. But for those guys, I think that they are intrigued by a few things. One, Ilia Topuria seems to be a guy that would have a great style to match up against Alexander Volkanovski. Granted, we have said that time and time again, and we have only seen Volkanovski make really good fighters look human. We've seen him do it time and time again. To the best fighters in the world, he makes them look like they're average. But there is something about Topuria that makes people, general fans, go, this guy has the feel of someone that is very dangerous to a long-reigning, undisputed, greatest featherweight champion of all time. That's one factor. The second factor is, what does Alexander Volkanovski look like after the fight with Islam Makhachev, or the two fights with Islam Makhachev? People seem to believe that the quick turnaround, which wasn't as quick as Alex wanted, it's still too soon. I mean, those guys fight in a couple weeks, I think. Is it maybe next week or in 2 weeks? I'm not sure. But many feel like it's still too fast, even though it was November, December, January. 3 months. It is pretty fast. Islam said it in the cage. He goes, now this guy can go and do a training camp and get ready to fight because, he knew he couldn't fight him on short notice. People seem to think that there will be lasting effects on Volk because of the way he lost and the mental challenges that comes with being that guy and then getting stopped in the way that he did. You don't know how that affects a person. If you ask me, I believe that Alexander Volkanovski will be the same guy. But even if he's that same guy, is that enough to beat this guy in Topuria, who doesn't seem to have many weaknesses at all? Third factor, and this will be my factor. I love my excitement is for all the stuff surrounding it, right? So it's a part of, well, is Volk going to be the same guy after what happened? But I like all the other stuff that's happening right now. So Ilia's girlfriend says, if one needs to die in there, it's not going to be my guy. One, I would have encouraged my significant other to not say that publicly. But what's wrong with a woman standing behind their guy? I don't hate that Ian Gary's wife supports him publicly. So many judge him for that, when in reality, that's what they're supposed to do, right? You are in the most dangerous job in the world. If you can't find that comfort there, how can you find that comfort on your way to the octagon and in other people when the person closest to you doesn't have your back in that way? I would have encouraged that not to happen publicly only because I'm the one that has to answer for that, right? So while the support is great, you are the one that has to go out there and back up those words. Here's the deal, though. Ilia Topuria does not seem to have a problem with it. It seems like all he wants to do is put pressure on himself. This dude has now said that he's releasing a movie on becoming the champion of the world. This dude has updated his bio with another win, and he's now the UFC featherweight champion. This dude has stated he wants to fight in the same stadium, the Bernabeu, I think it's called. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Where Real Madrid plays football in Spain. This dude has said to anyone that will listen how Alexander Volkanovski cannot compete with him. Most people, under these circumstances, want to release the pressure. Not this dude. From his girlfriend to his words to his team. This reminds me of Conor about to fight Jose Aldo. He told you, and he was so sure that he was going to get it done, that you knew that if it happened, he would become a star that we had never seen in the UFC before or in fighting. So when it happened, he went to the moon. I feel like Ilia Topuria is setting himself up to have that type of ascent if he can deliver on all the promises that he is making. I remember being Ilia Topuria as a young undefeated fighter. I wasn't young as he is, young in the game, but an undefeated fighter going up against fighting one of the greatest champions of all time. And I swear it, maybe I didn't say it publicly. I felt the same way. I felt that there was no way that Jones could compete with me. Why? Because all I had seen inside the octagon is dominance. I had not lost a round. I had not lost to anyone. People really couldn't compete with me. I was just dominating, dude. So I figured the same thing would happen when I went in there with Jon Jones, and it didn't. Ilia Topuria, for his part, though, has had adversity a little bit. Not much, but he has had to deal with some things. But what happens to Ilia when Alexander Volkanovski comes on? When Alexander Volkanovski starts to become Alexander Volkanovski, the guy that we all know The guy that blanked Max Holloway in the third fight. The guy that made the Korean Zombie look like he didn't belong in the octagon with him. The guy that made Yair Rodriguez fall over after putting so much damage and discouraging to the point that Yair realized, I can't beat this man. What happens then? What happens to that young Spaniard, the guy with all the arrogance and the confidence? That is what makes a great fight, because there are so many questions that surround it. Because if this dude can do what he's saying he's going to do, Topuria is going to be a star in a country that loves to support. Ireland, a fraction of the size of Spain, I believe. Now, I'm not great with geography, but can't imagine Ireland is bigger than Spain. But I can't imagine. He would have that country behind him, and they would come in droves. I have watched soccer matches or football games, and I see how they support them. Imagine one of their own. Yeah. Spain is 7 times the size of Ireland, and they will support. Thank you, Luis. But, I mean, we are talking about the greatest featherweight champion of all time. And I know that Alexander Volkanovski and Eugene Behrman and his other coaches, they will all have him so prepared that he will be looking to really prove a point. Now, one of the other things that have been going on is people mad at Volkanovski because of what they call excuses. Volk released a statement earlier in the week saying that he was drinking every day before he fought Islam and he wasn't ready and all these other things. And they say they love the other Volkanovski more. This is the group of friends that you guys know. Jamel, Terry, Craig, Jamil. Yeah, I got a nephew named Jamel and a friend named Jamil, and they're both in a group message. They like the other Volkanovski. They like the guy that right after the fight just said, yeah, you know, it is what it is. They don't like the guy that says months afterwards, I was drinking every day. But that speaks to what Volk was saying. I'm not myself when I don't have something to chase. I got to be honest. I figured, you know, sure, dude has a couple drinks. We all do. But to hear that he was saying he was doing it every day was surprising to me. Because to me, I look at Alexander Volkanovski as a cyborg. Always focused, always on a straight and direct path. And now we know that that wasn't the case. He had lost a fight. He didn't have anything scheduled yet, I don't believe. That's how he dealt with it, right? Through that. But this time he didn't have that opportunity. He did not have that chance to wallow in his sorrows. He immediately got a fight, and he got back to training. He got his purpose. We all know what Alexander Volkanovski with purpose looks like. But it seems as though he finally has a challenger that carries that same level of purpose and that same level of confidence with the idea that he's going to be the greatest in the world, with no doubt. That's the fight. And I know there's Gaethje, Poirier announced. I'm sorry. There's Gaethje versus Holloway announced. Better. I know there's O'Malley, Cheeto announced. Better. I know that there is a whole bunch of other fights that are announced coming up in the next few months. This is the best one. Topuria is just meat and potatoes enough. He's just basic enough with all of his skills to where he could present problems for the great champion, Alexander. And I'm here for it. I cannot wait until that fight next week. Hey, we'll get excited as we go forward. But I don't know, man. Skill for skill across 3 groups of all different pro athletes, all different people in the world of mixed martial arts. It feels universal that this is the one that most are most excited about. Talk about a fight. Guys, I missed you. I missed you. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. DC's got a YouTube channel. Also, check out everything at The Volume. Till next time, peace.